Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I read in May. There's 14 of them. What? And my exciting news for what I plan to read in June. I hope you guys are ready for some exciting information. We got stats at the top of it, but we got some fun, exciting things on the bottom of it. So I am so excited. I'm not going to ramble for too long because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to dig into. So I'm just going to jump in. Here's our stat sheet for May of 2026. So in total, we had an average monthly rating of 3.5 stars. That is the lowest rating that I have had this year in conjunction with February. February was also 3.5 stars. May also was 3.5 stars. Really sucks. Really hate that for me. And then total number of pages that I read this month, well, in May, was 4,133 pages. So we got a lot of pages that I read this month. It's comparable to what I read in April, but it feels like a lot because we ended up actually reading 14 books this month. Now, some of those books were short stories. Some of those books were manga anime. That's why the page count is similar to April, because I read 9 books in April, but it was a similar page count. This May, I read 14 books and it's a similar page count. So there's that background. Formats. All of my books, except for one, I owned physically. So I have all of them but one. And then we had 10 books that I listened to on audio, with 3 of those books being from Libby. So really cool. I'm glad that I get to use Libby. I also use, for my audiobooks, I use Spotify. I have Libro FM. I do still have an Audible account, which I hate, but I do still have it. I'm about to turn off my subscription. I'm using up the last credit I have so I can turn that off for Audible, because I just don't want to use Audible if I don't have to. And then I think that's it for all the audiobook platforms. And then I use YouTube. Some of my books that I listen to were on YouTube. So Short Stay in Hell, the full book, was on YouTube. I think that's the only one that was fully on YouTube. But there are some audiobooks that you can listen to on YouTube. So something else to know. As far as my star ratings, we had one 1-star. Hold on. All year, I have yet to have had a 1-star book. So that was my first 1-star book of the year. We had 3 3-stars, 6 3.5 stars, which I hate that number. I don't want a mid book. I want a great book. We had 1 4-star, and then we had 3 4.5s. 0, zilch, nada 5 stars. What's that about? I don't like that. I have only had 5 stars like every other month. And otherwise, I've not had 5 stars, and it's really driving me nuts. I think this year total so far, I've had 5 5-star books in the last 5 months. So not terrible, but like at least 1 every month would be nice, instead of them being in I had 3 in one month and 2 in another month. I've had none. I don't like that. And as far as genres go, my top genres are horror, coming in at number 1, y'all, with 21 books read thus far this year that were horror. We had 14 thrillers coming in spot number 2, and then we've had 11 fantasy coming in spot number 3. I don't like that thrillers up here at number 2. I don't like thrillers. And that's contributing to my low average rating because I don't like thrillers, and they're just not my thing. I just don't enjoy them. I don't like them. And so the fact that we've read 14 thrillers in the month, or in this year so far, I don't like that. We didn't DNF any books in May, which was nice. And I didn't have any books that I didn't finish in May, which is great. So talking about all the books that I did read in the month of May. So the first 2 books we read in the month of May were for my taste test video for Mason Coyle Cole. I still don't know how to say his name, and it doesn't matter because it's not a real name. We read 2 books for that vlog. The first book that we ended up reading was William. We ended up giving this a 4.5 star. I did really enjoy this book. I wished it had gone a little further. I wish it had given me a little bit more, but I did really enjoy it. I really liked this book a lot. The average rating though for this on Fable is 3.5 stars. So not fully loved by all. People think it's mid for the most part, but I did really enjoy it. So we read that one. And then also in that video, we read Exiles. This one I gave 3.5 stars. I did not really enjoy this one that much. It could have given me more. Like, beyond what William gave me, This, superior. This, girl, you had more writing to do. You had more to flesh out. You had more interesting things that we could have done with this, because this was not it. I'm sorry. I ended up giving this a 3.5 star. The average rating for this is 3.75 because it's pretty mid. For an alien, outer space, horror type of book, pretty mid. After we read from our taste test with Mason Coyle, we then did my Mother's Day vlog, which, guys, y'all, I am so appreciative for the amount of people who watched that video, who have subscribed because of that video, who have commented because of that video, who's liked that video. I thank you guys so much. I don't know what I did in that video that y'all loved so much, but I'm so grateful. I can't believe I have a video on my channel that has officially reached 1,000 views. That's just crazy pants to me. And finding out that there are YouTubers that I aspire to be like and YouTubers that I love that have watched that video as well. I'm like, what are you doing on my channel? Why are you here? It's so cool. It was such a fun experience. It was so cool to see that kind of go mini viral, and just a great experience overall. For that vlog though, we did read 3 books. We read 2 books. We read What Kind of Mother? This book I ended up giving 3 stars because it was worth 3 stars. Average rating 3.25. So I'm not far off. It was kind of mid, to be honest. The ending of this story just kind of goes off into this crazy world of things that I was like, wait, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? It didn't fit to me the way the story was going for it to have just gone so left like that. But, you know, it is what it is. So that was one of the books. And then the other book that we read was Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. I enjoyed that book for the most part. I ended up giving it a 3.5. Average rating for Nestlings is 3.75. I do like Nat Cassidy. I loved reading Rest Stop. It was my favorite book that I've read by him thus far. And a lot of people liked Nestlings. A lot of people were talking about the vampire of it all. It was good. It wasn't like, I'm thinking about it right now and I'm like, I can't really remember what I read in that book, if I'm being fully honest with you. And so for me, that kind of fits with its rating that I gave it a 3.5, in the sense that like, it wasn't all that memorable. Nothing crazy wild happened that I was like, that I'm holding on to, that I'm remembering. So kind of sucks. I was hoping for more with the Nat Cassidy of it all, but I will say, and I've said it many times, I love how he writes. His characters and his writing style are similar. Like, it feels like the writing is coming from that character you're reading. He is able to morph his writing style to match the character he's portraying for us. And I think that's just so amazing. He's amazing at that. And I think it is just crazy awesome what he's able to do. So anyway, loved that. And then we did our next vlog was my second episode of anticipated 2026 reads. And we had 3 books in that video. The first book we read was For Human Use. Girl, this was wild. If you didn't watch the video for me reading For Human Use, I highly recommend you watch it. Go watch it after this. This was crazy, okay? People dating dead bodies sounds as bad and gross and chaotic as it sounds. So I liked this. I thought it was wacky. I did end up giving it 3 stars, so it's just kind of average. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever read as far as its writing goes. It was way too long for what it is, if I'm being very honest. It didn't need to be this long, but you know, whatever. The average rating for this thus far is 3.25 stars on Fable. The second book we read was The Beheading Game, and y'all know I was excited about this one. I was so excited for this. I ended up giving The Beheading Game 3.5 stars. It didn't do what it needed to have done. It was good, but it wasn't good enough. I'm so sorry to say. The writing was beautiful. I think Rebecca is a good writer. I think she has great writing skill. I think what was missing from this book for me was just more exploration and more revenge and more, like, it just needed more. I don't know. It just wasn't enough for me. And so thusly 3.5. The average rating for this is also 3.5. And then finally we read Mocha. This was a 4.5 for me. Okay. Not everybody loves this book. It is a very like yes or no book for people, I think. But I really enjoyed it. I love a revenge arc. Okay. I do love it. I do love seeing a girl getting her revenge. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Okay. That's how I feel about this book. This was a 4.5 star for me. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought this was an amazing book. I think it had great conversations about women and violations of women and how women do something that men do and we're the evilest, grossest person on earth. But when a man does it, it's like, oh, well, boys will be boys type shit. That's the epitome of what this book is. And I really enjoyed it. I loved the multiple POVs that we had in here too. I think it kept it interesting. I really enjoyed this book. Then we had my favorite manga vlog. I'm going to do more of these because I had a great time doing this. It was a nice refresh, a nice relaxing moment, a nice like easy peasy go with the flow kind of video. And I really, really enjoyed it. It was a great way to like slow down, you know, still reading, but slowing down, taking the pressure off a little bit, making things a little bit more cozy and a little bit more chill. It was a great transition. So if you haven't watched that, you can watch that here. But the first book we read in the manga video was Sheets. I absolutely adore this book. You can't tell me you don't like this cover. It's beautiful, it's cutesy, it's fun. Okay, it's got a little ghost who's a sheet inside of a freaking, what is this? Washing machine? A dryer? I don't know. This was so cute. It's as cute as the cover looks. The inside imagery is beautiful. The story was great. I will say I gave it 4.5 stars. I would have given it 5, except for the lack of believability that a 13-year-old is running a laundromat after her mom dies by herself. And y'all are trying to take advantage of this kid and getting onto her when she has to be at school, and so she's late getting back to the laundromat because she has school. 4.5. That whole thing was that was crazy to me. So it brought me to 4.5. I'm sorry to say. But generally speaking, this averages 3.75 stars on Fable. And I think it deserves it. I think it deserves more. I mean, if you haven't read it, I do recommend reading it if you can get your hands on it. It's very cute. It's very cozy. It's very chill vibes. I love this. It is a series, so I will be getting the additional copies of this and reading those as well. And then the final book we read in that video was Monster. I didn't enjoy this as much as I had thought I would. And it made me really sad. I've been wanting horror mangas, horror animes. There's not a lot out there, y'all. And that's kind of shocking to me. If you know more horror animes or mangas that you recommend, please let me know. But this was like, it was fine. Like, it was fine. It was mid. It was 3.5 stars. It was fine. I'm not going to continue in this series. For all of the work that we had to do in this, it was so repetitive. There was way too much repeating that was happening here for that many pages. Like, we could have cut some of that stuff out. And this goes on for like, was it 9-10 volumes or something? No. I don't even know what the resolution was. I barely know the answer to what's going on here. I'm not going to read it anymore. But I did enjoy what I read for the most part. Average rating for this, though, more people like this than I do, is a 4.5 average rating on Fable. So if you're into horror and kind of like thriller mystery type of vibes with your anime, you might enjoy this series. I don't know. It wasn't a 4.5 for me. Then our next video, because they just keep coming, you guys, was our short story vlog, which I had so much fun doing. Yet again, I hope that I can do more of these because I really enjoyed it. I think in the future I'll do another short story collection instead of just doing a bunch of like individual stories. I'll just do probably collections. But the first book that we did read in that video was The Trees Grew Because I Bled There. Eric LaRocca is messed up. There's something going on in this man's head. I don't know what he thinks about at night, but this shit's crazy, okay? These stories were wild. Some of these stories made me nauseous. I'm not gonna lie to you because I was like, who and why would you do that? All that to say, it is a horror short story collection with a focus on body horror, and I love a body horror. I really enjoyed it for that. I did end up giving this 3.5 stars. It didn't quite make it to 4 because not all the stories were something that like really made sense to me. I feel like it had a lot of really good weight in the beginning, and at the end we kind of lose it a little bit, and I was just kind of like, I wish I had seen like, I want that momentum to stay up, and it didn't. So there's that. Average rating for this on Fable is 3.75, so I think that's pretty accurate as well. Also in that video, we read this shit. We read A Short Stay in Hell. If you want to see my thoughts and opinions, I do a full spoiler-filled rant in my short story vlog. If you want to see my thoughts and opinions, I highly recommend you go see them. It's a 100-page book, and I have all the feelings about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hated this. It was 1 star for me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not I'm not understanding the hype. So I gave it 1 star because it was only 100 pages at least that I had to torment myself through. This is torture, but not in the way you expect. And that was disappointing for me. And then finally, we read Revenge by Yoko Ogawa. And this also didn't hit what I was hoping that it would have hit on. I mentioned this in the vlog. Revenge is not what this story is about. It's not. This cover is deceiving. This is not as like crazy graphic horror as I was hoping for. It was very chill vibes. I will say all the stories are like intertwined, so it's not like they're just individual stories. So there is that part, but I ended up giving this 3 stars. Surprisingly though, the average rating is 4 stars on Fable. So I don't know what I don't know or what I'm missing, but somebody out there sees something in this that I do not. And then finally, we had our final Twisted Retreat episode 4 vlog. You can watch that here later if you haven't watched that. And we read 2 books in that video. We read The Nightmare Man, which I had high hopes for, not gonna lie to you. And it really didn't deliver. I honestly, the rating that I gave this probably shouldn't be what it is, but I'm just gonna leave it because it's what I gave it in the moment. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I feel in my heart of hearts that this should have been a 3.5. It just, like, it wasn't bad, but it turned from horror to a detective story really quickly, and that disappointed me. I wanted more horror. I wanted more paranormalness to it. I wanted more monsters. I wanted more, and I didn't get it. You're seeing a theme this month that I wanted more from some of these books. I want them to push the envelope a little bit more. I want more edge. I want more grit. I want more gross. I want more horror. I want more. Give me more. Y'all ain't giving me enough, and I want more. And I don't know if that means that I need to be reading different types of books than what I'm reading lately, but I need more. Whatever you're giving me, add more to it, okay? Anyway, I gave this a 4 star. Average rating is a 4 star. And then the final book was At Dark I Become Loathsome by Eric LaRocca. A second book. I chose this one because I had read the Eric LaRocca short story collection. And so I was like, I'll read Eric LaRocca in general. I kind of enjoyed that one for the most part. Maybe this will meet the same standards. It didn't. It didn't. I was hoping for gory graphic through and through. I wanted more. I got less. I got so much less. Also, there's trigger warnings online for this book that it's splatterpunk, blah, 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 blah. There's like one scene where that happens, and that's the end of it. Otherwise, it's not that horrifying if I'm being truthful about the situation. It just was kind of like, it is sad. This man's talking about how he is grieving and how that process is just, it's so much, and like how all these things that are happening to him and how he's this terrible monster of a person, but we don't meet that monster of a person. So that was very disappointing for me. It was underwhelming. I ended up giving this 3.5. Its average rating is 3.25. Those were the books that we read in May. Here's what I want to read in June. As you know, June is Pride Month. We love to see it. I meant to wear my Support Trans Rights shirt, and I completely forgot because, you know, it is what it is. But June is Pride Month. I'm so excited. I've got so many ideas for books and types of books and sets that I can read. I know I told y'all I was going to take it easier this month. I fully lied to you. Because when I started planning out what I'm going to read in June yesterday, I'm probably doing way too much, y'all. I'm going to be very honest with you. My videos are probably not going to be on time. They're probably not going to be on time. I can just tell you now, they're probably not going to be on time because I want to read so many things in this much time. So let's start out from the top. I have a few books that I plan to read. The first book that I want to read for this month is going to be The Raven Scholar. I've wanted to read this for so long. I am craving a good fantasy right now. I'm just craving a good one. She's thick. She's chunky. She's curvy. She's got it all. Look how floppy she is. Oh, wait, hold on. I love that. Kind of sturdy, but just enough flop. Oh, I'm so excited for this one, y'all. I also got a new bookmark from my sister-in-law. I'm so excited for it. Ugh, love it. But all that to say, this is going to be the first book that we're going to read. This will be out on Sunday. I am doing a spoiler-filled reading vlog of reading Raven Scholar. I've heard great things about this book, and I want to read it. I just want to be a part of the group and I want to read it. This is a book that fits within a book about queer characters. So the author is not queer themselves, but this book does follow some queer characters. So I'm very excited to read those, to tell y'all more about them, kind of giving you my thoughts on how I feel about them. So this will be the first video that goes out on Sunday. The next book that I want to read is also a book about queer characters, and that is Carmela. I plan to read this and do a full spoiler-filled vlog on this one as well. This will be a Wednesday video. I don't know what Wednesday, but this is going to be one that I'll read as a Wednesday upload at some point. So depending on how quickly I can get through Raven Scholar will depend on if this comes out right after that or if it comes out another time. But this will be one of my Wednesday videos, and I'm very excited for this. I actually, to be honest with you, have never read Dracula. Please don't shoot me. I know, y'all. Trust me, I get it. I've never read Dracula, but this sounds so much more interesting to me. And it being predating Dracula, I would love to read this first and then read Dracula. I plan to do some classics next month, so I might do Dracula, and I definitely want to read Jane Eyre. So I might do those next month as some classics that I read, but I wanted to read Carmela. I want to do a full spoiler vlog on it and tell you my full thoughts and opinions. I borrowed this book from my sister. I bought this for her to read. And so I was like, let me borrow that so I can read it. So gonna have that one in one of our videos. And then the next book thing that I want to do, I want to read a book by trans authors. So I have a few books in my library that fit within that category, but one book in particular that I would love to read is Brainworms. Spicy Cats here on YouTube. She read this and I fell in love with it just because of the cover, y'all. That cover looks beautiful. And so I bought it because, duh. I did not realize when I bought it that this was by a trans author, but I did look at this book on my bookshelf when I was picking out all the books that I have that were potentials for this month. And I was like, that looks like it's gay. This looks gay to me. Don't ask me why. I can't give you an answer. But when I look at this cover, I go, gay. And I'm right, okay? I'm not wrong, I'm right. And most of the time I'm right. I'm here with my gay folk, you know what I'm saying? So, all that to say, this is by a trans author. This is by Allison Rumfitt. I'm so excited to read this one. And also what gives this away as being part of the queer community is that it's blurbed by Gretchen Felker Martin, and it is also blurbed by Eric LaRocca, and it's also blurbed by Andrew Joseph White. So all the icons on there, you know what I'm saying? This one is about a turf bomb Frankie, our main character's workplace, and it blows up their life. And the media is like super involved. Frankie tries to cope with the carnage by binge drinking, sleeping with strangers, pushing away her friends. And then she meets Vanya, mysterious, beautiful, terrifying. The two hit it off immediately, but as their relationship intensifies, so too does Frankie's feelings that Vanya is hiding something from her. When Vanya's secrets threaten to tear them apart, Frankie starts digging and unearths a sinister, deprived conspiracy that the roots of which go deeper than she ever imagined. It sounds fun. It sounds interesting. It sounds cool. I'm down. I'm ready to read it. So that's going to be one of the videos. This will be a Sunday video. Next book that I plan to read is by an asexual, aromantic author. And that book is Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wisewell. I'm very excited about this one. I've heard great things about this. Katie Colson talked about this book. I think she did a reading with Gavin and potentially Kayla. I can't remember if it was Kayla or if it was Gabby Reads, but either way, I know Katie Colson and Gavin read this. And the way that they talked about it just seemed so exciting and so interesting, but also this cover is beautiful and gorgeous and I had to own it. In this book, we are following Shishishin. I'm gonna hope that's what I'm saying. Shishishin is a shapeshifter who happily resides as an amorphous lump at the bottom of a ruined manor. When her rest is interrupted by impolite monster hunters, she constructs a body from the remains of past meals, a metal chain for a backbone, borrowed bones for limbs, and a bear trap as an extra mouth. Badly hurt by the hunters, Shishishins nursed back to health by Homily, a warm-hearted human. Homily is kind and would make a great co-parent, an ideal place to lay Shishishin's eggs so their young can devour Homily from the inside out. But as they grow close, Shishishin realizes that eating her girlfriend isn't an option. It just sounds fun. It sounds so cute. I'm so excited. I want to read this. I want to know what the story is. I want to learn all about it. So that is going to be one of my other potential Wednesday upload type of videos. The next one I want to do is a book about lesbian characters / lesbian authors. So we have Gideon the Ninth. I've heard so many great things about this series. I feel like I want to be a part of it. It is fantasy, and I don't fully understand what this is about, other than we're following Gideon, and she's supposed to be some kind of like, I don't know, special fighter person. I really don't know. She's supposed to fight immortals, something about a necromancer. I don't know. What I do know is I've heard it's gay, and I want to read it. I've heard it's lesbian, and I want to read it. So that's my plan. I want to read this one. And then I want to do a Sarah Gailey, sorry, y'all, taste test, because I already own Spread Me, and I really, really want to read this. I want to read this so bad, and there's no way I can't not read this. So I got Spread Me. I want to read this one. But then the other book that I plan to read is, I believe it's Just Like Home. Yeah, Just Like Home. I've heard a lot about Just Like Home. I don't have access to the newest book that she's releasing this year, so I figured I'd read Spread Me, which was a great hit from what I've heard, and then Just Like Home, and I'll just combine those two. This is a pretty short one. Just Like Home is a pretty short one, so plan to combine those. I have the audiobook for Just Like Home, and then I have the physical for Spread Me. Spread Me, I heard, is about a doctor who messes with a virus that makes her want to have sex with it. Y'all don't ask me. I don't know. I don't get it, but I want to read it. Sarah Gailey is a queer and gay author as well. They go by they, them, I believe, as well. So I have those two that I want to read for a video. And again, that would be potentially a Wednesday video. And then the final book / potential books that I want to read for the final video of this month would be by authors. I feel like I've covered the spectrum of all the different types of queer, gay, lesbian, asexual, aromantic type of groups. So the next one was bisexual authors, people of my own kind. I have The Haunting of Velkwood, and then I have A Dowry of Blood. I have heard mixed reviews on both of these, but I still want to read them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read both of them, so we'll see which one we end up choosing in that video. But these are the options that we have. So we've got A Dowry of Blood, which is a vampire story, saved from the brink of death by a mysterious stranger, Constanta? I don't know. Is transformed from a medieval peasant into a bride fit for an undying king. But when Dracula draws a cunning aristocrat and a starving artist into his web of passion and deceit, she realizes that her beloved is capable of terrible things. So we got a Dracula type retelling. And then we have The Haunting of Velkwood, which is it's a suburban ghost story about a small town that trapped 3 young women who must confront the past if they're going to have a future. So it sounds very interesting, sounds kind of spooky ooky, and again, by a bisexual author. So I'm so happy that I have both of these. I'm telling y'all, I was shocked about the amount of queer media that I owned, or queer written media that I own. I'm very impressed and very happy and very grateful for all of it. So those are my reading plans for June. I've been going on forever. So join me on Sunday for a video about The Raven Scholar and all of its juicy details. Additionally, I'm going to have a video come out between now and then of me talking about all of the queer media that I own and kind of just showing y'all all the different media that I have from all the different categories of the LGBTQ plus QIA plus spectrum. So if y'all want to see that, stay tuned. I'm going to have that coming out just to have a little extra something to show some authors and also some books to kind of give you some inspiration for what you could read this June for Pride Month as well. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you all for being here. If you celebrate Pride, happy Pride Month, gays, theys, and girlies. I'm so excited. We're up, y'all, okay? We're gonna do this. Additionally, a PSA about Pride. If you have queer people in your lives, and if you don't have queer people in your lives, we're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for our rights, and we deserve to have them. Our transgender friends and family are losing their rights left and right. People are treating them in the most gross, and obscene ways possible. And they deserve our attention, our love, and our support. So don't forget to support all of our people out there. Donate to a charity if you can. If you can't, speak up for those that are being trampled on, for all sakes of the words. There's a lot of stuff going on right now about Patagonia and Patagonia. That's a whole thing. We're being attacked left and right, y'all. And we got to stand up for each other. We've got to be there to support each other, gay, queer, or not. We're all here. We all got to share this stupid little rock that we're sitting on. So be there, support each other, be there for each other, uplift each other where you can. And also, don't forget to vote, y'all. Our votes do matter. At the end of the day, what we vote for is what we get. And what you don't vote for is also what you get. So please go out and vote if you're able to. Please go out and petition and just canvass and do and support and be there in whatever ways you can. I know monetary is not the best option for everybody right now. Finances are crazy. This world is in terrifying states and it just sucks ass if we're being honest. But do what you can. Be there where you can. Support where you can. And don't forget, I love you. There are people out here who love you. I support you. I'm here for you. Keep doing you, girl. Gay, they, them, all of the things. I'm here for you. I love you. And I hope that you have an amazing and wonderful Pride Month. Bye, everybody.